Yo. Okay.
Hey, what's going on? We live. We
We
live.
live.
Yeah. What's
All
going
right.
on?
Let's see. Let's just try and check and make sure everything is legit. Try and check
Well,
and
we
make
we
sure.
getting it set up. We getting it set up. Everybody, come on in. Welcome to the Let Us Make Man conference. Glad y'all tuning in this evening. Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on
All
one
right. Now,
second.
while y'all coming on in, let us know where you from.
Yes,
Tap in.
yes.
Let us know. Represent.
Let me see something. I'm just handling some things behind the scenes, everybody.
What we got in here tonight.
All right.
Where you from? Where you from? All right. Cool. Q.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good, man. Things are going well, as y'all can tell. Like if y'all I'm just checking and making sure everything going good with this live. Everything's going good with live, but it's been good, man. I'm here in the DMV,
Yeah.
Arlington, Virginia, man. It's been really well, man. How about you, man? This
Okay.
has been a long time coming, man. This has been a long time.
No, I know, man. Listen, it has. Before we get to me though, man, you can't just skirt over you being in the DMV like that, man. You got to unpack that, bro. So
Yeah,
DMV, man, how you end up out there? Let's just start with that.
man. Bro, man, just had an awesome opportunity. Um, Pastor Melvin Warfield, amazing pastor here, and opened up the opportunity for me to come through
Yeah,
CPC, Community Praise Church, and it's been such an amazing fit, man. It's been really dope. Like, I've never been to the DMV. Like I've been here like one time. It's been for a few moments to speak and then be out, but to
yeah,
be in a place like and see this area, man, see the people, see the different places and the different things that's happening in the city, it's been amazing. It's been really good. So got the opportunity to come here and pastor
right.
and
Okay.
stuff, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I took a break from pastoring, but now returning back, and
Yeah.
it's
Like
been
Jordan wearing the 4-5.
yes, sir. So
That's what's up,
it's
man.
man, still a little rusty at times, but we getting it.
Of course, man. No, I love to hear that, man. I've always been, bro, just an admirer, man, of how you do your thing. So and coming from basically the same area, man, we got a chance to
Yes, sir.
not just watch each other in our element, but to work together.
Yeah.
And so, man, that's been cool to just see what a journey is 10 plus years later, right? So, man,
Wow.
glad that you out there, you loving it. All right, man. So tell me this though, DMV.
Yeah.
We get the being from the Midwest, specifically St. Louis. I'm from the East Side, East Saint. You know how we
You
do.
say?
There's always a debate on pizza.
Oh man,
So around here it's emos.
you are all day, all
Okay,
day,
so out there though, what's like the staple spot or staple dish out
man,
there that they're
man.
like, yo, you got to try this.
Yeah. Oh wow. DMV, man. The staple dish, man. I don't even want to. That's a great question. Man, let me see a staple dish here in the DMV. Um, Man, what is a staple dish? They got like Ben's chili bowl here.
Okay, okay,
And anybody that's on here from the DMV, shoot some suggestions on here because I've only been here for a few months. But like, man, like really. Oh, they got this thing called mambo sauce. It's like a mambo, like you put it on wings. It's almost like the mild sauce
I
in
heard of
Chicago,
that. Okay,
and it's all right,
it's
but
solid, it's decent.
yeah.
Okay.
It's decent. It's decent. It's
Oh
decent.
no, bro, that nod. Oh no. Okay. You seem a little hesitant with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we got it's good.
So you still gotta. You only been out there for how long?
Man, ever since May.
Also, you still
yeah,
new.
I'm still getting like
You still
acclimated.
unpacking your bags, bro.
Yeah, for real, for real. If I was to show you
Okay.
around, I still got boxes and stuff around here.
Yeah, that's
But my
cool.
heart
That's
is
cool.
always with emos. You know, it's always with emos. St.
Most
Louis,
deaf,
you know
most
what
deaf,
I'm
most
really
deaf.
about.
Well, listen, I know we got folks still joining in.
Yeah,
Feel
I'm
free
still here.
to let us know who you are, where you from. We just want to show you some love. We just gonna get things rolling, get things kicked off. So yeah, it's cute. So you say you out there pastoring. That's what's been going on with you, man. Definitely glad to hear that, man. So
What about?
what you see? What you see? Who we got online, man? Let's shout out. Okay, I see Nehemiah Mabry. Shout out, man.
Okay. Where you see him? Like, is he
I see him on IG.
on
He tapped
IG?
in with us. Yeah.
Oh, dope. All right,
Yeah.
I'm on the Facebook. I'm on the Facebook side.
Okay. I see somebody commented all ethnic everything. We stepping up 100%. 100%. Who else we got with us?
Let's see.
Tap in. Tap in. Who you see, Q?
And I'm trying to see. Let me see. Just trying to see who we got on FB on Facebook. See anybody? Yeah, we still kind of getting some things set up on our Facebook side.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me tap in with Instagram and see how y'all.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's see. Okay. All right.
Oh,
Got you.
let's do it. All right, let's keep it rolling,
Cool.
bro.
Got you. All right.
We caught the speed on what's going on with you, man. You didn't caught us up with life in the DMV.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up with you though, man? What's up with you?
Man, just one day at a time, man. I've been really just grinding, man, laying low. Honestly, just putting in some work on a couple projects I'm doing out here in the city. Speaking still, so I stopped pastoring a couple years ago, 2019. So you know that we talk off the grid, but officially I stopped pastoring in 2019, right before COVID hit. So that was unexpected, man. But just been really just following the path that I feel has been laid for me and getting and speaking in our communities, man, getting and talking with the youth and giving them a plan. And while we ultimately want to build external resources, like building our community, it's teaching them how to tap into their internal resources. So that's been something that I just been spreading, like I said, going into just those pockets where it's a school, it's a youth center, and just really building, and that's been cool. And then, I also tapped into day trading, man. Once I left, so listen, gotta find a way to fund your passion.
Yeah.
People not just gonna just have a handout for you. So that's really what I've been up to, man. It's just really putting in that grind, day trading, which I love, man. So yeah, that's been it, bro. But other than that, everything good. We
Man,
still rolling. Ain't
that's
nothing stopped. So I'm off the grid, but ain't nothing changed.
Yes, sir. And I mean, just in the trading, man, like just man, hearing we've been talking off the grid, y'all. So it's been amazing, like to really kind of hear just like how much he's learned and amassed and stuff like that. And some stuff is on the way. And that's in that respect.
Right. Yeah. You're gonna put people on, man.
Yeah.
It's life changing for sure. For sure, bro. So listen, man, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into what we got going on, man. Our overview, man. Can you want to tell us what we got lined up, man?
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it. So basically, man, you guys are here for the conference. It's gonna happen like this. First, we're going to introduce Rob, a speaker. He's going to really like give the the crux of like what he is talking about for day one. We're going to ask him a few questions, and then he's going to go with the presentation. During that presentation, there's going to be some times in which you can decompress. You can take some time, some mindfulness exercises and different things like that. Take some breaths, do some other things. He's going to walk you through all of those spaces. And then after the presentation, we're going to lay it over to you. Question and answer. I like to see this as this isn't just a presentation, but you guys are getting a behind the scenes look at like boys talking and stuff like that. And so we want to bring you guys along for that. And so ask your questions. Feel free to ask the questions. If you want to have anonymous questions, if you want to send anonymous questions, let's get that number up for you. It is 754 300 2972. That's 754 300 2972. You can send that if you have any questions anonymously. We're going to be getting a Q&A. We're going to be breaking that down, and they'll direct it. You'll direct the questions to us, and we'll just have a Q&A, bring these questions out. And then we're going to have some closing remarks, and then we're going to have a little preview of what we were going to be doing for tomorrow.
All right.
So that's the layout.
Well, hey, man, without any further ado, man, let's bring Rob on.
Let's bring him.
Yo, what's good, my brothers?
Yes, sir.
Yo,
man, what's going on, bro? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm chomping at the bit a little bit, man. I want to get going. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, well, let's not waste any time, man. So, of course, this is the Let Us Make Man conference, and you gonna drop some jewels on us this evening. But
yes, sir.
We know that we've been talking off the grid, but there may be some people online who may not be familiar with you. They may have just seen this on Facebook, Instagram, and not really know who Rob Bailey is. And so real quick, bro, like, let them know. Who is Rob Bailey, man?
Yeah, Rob Bailey is a mental health therapist, speaker, soon to be author and not in training, but, you know, in the works. I hail from Syracuse and Buffalo, New York. Right now, I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I operate a practice called The Good Conditioning. I'm also the director of mental health for an organization called Boys in the Wood. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. We got a great free offering, like an amazing offering for you guys at the end that I would love for you to take advantage of. And so that's who I am. That's, you know, real brief. That's about who I am, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we're at this Let Us Make Man conference. What inspired you to create this? What inspired you to cast this vision and go forward with it?
Indeed. So the vision for it came from my own healing journey. I mean, I realized I reached a point in my life where I had maxed out on all the slippery Rob, you know, all of the fast Rob, all of the, you know, get by and you know, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like running game and getting by on my gifting or on my charisma. And man, at that point I just had to begin to build, and I realized I had like a serious block. I was standing on a poor foundation in terms of mental health, childhood trauma, wounding, and I needed to figure it out. And I realized I didn't really have the tools, and so went on a journey to try to figure it out for myself and also try to help my clients. Right, I was seeing that a lot of people, brothers, sisters, coming in with this like similar issues and just lacking some core mental health information. And so when I got it, I developed it into a curriculum. And this is a part of it is what I'm going to be sharing here. I also run this curriculum at Boys in the Woods. It's a retreat that we do for Black men. And so that was really the inspiration, man. It's like I want people to have a template for their own mind so they could begin this self-healing process, or they can be more of an asset to themselves in therapy. Sometimes therapy can be difficult because you may be limited to the emotional awareness of the client. And so you might have to spend a lot of time just building up the emotional vocabulary, laying the foundation in terms of mental health information. And so I wanted to create something to put people on an on-ramp to the highway in terms of their emotional healing. And so this is what this is.
Yeah. Smooth. Okay. Yeah, man. Much needed, bro. Much needed. Now, of course, some of this info might be new to those who are joining us, and it might take some time to process, right? So with that, what would you say is the message you want folks that's tuning in tonight to walk away
Yeah.
with?
Yeah. Well, the major takeaway that I want for the brothers is to understand that the majority of their negative attributes, that they lowest self, most of it, if not every last bit of it, descends from their wounding. Right.
Cool.
And if you can figure out the wounding, you'll be able to lift the weights off of the highest self, your potential, your gifting, and
Yeah.
you'll be able to move through this life and fulfill your highest potential, be it career, be it relationship, be it health and wellness, your finances, all of that is underneath the weight of everything you've been through. And you absolutely have the power to get it up off you. And so that's what we're gonna be talking about today. So that's when you have the power to to break free for whatever's holding you back, man. And we're gonna break it down. Yeah,
That's real. Talk that talk, bro. Well, listen,
Real.
we gonna hand the floor over to you, man.
Let's get it.
Drop jewels, man. It's all
Listen,
you, bro.
I'm about to share my screen, y'all.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's get it. Let's get it. We're gonna go entire screen with it. So y'all, at about the hour mark, we're gonna have to reset Instagram. So just be ready for that. About 1 hour, we're gonna take a break at intermission, and we're gonna have to reset IG. But let's get to it. Let's get to it. How I'm looking, brothers. Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
All right, let's go. We got Let Us Make Man. All right, Robert Allen Bailey, LCSW. Want to take a quick moment. Fannie Lou Hamer, shout out to the Queen, right? Never forget where you came from and praise all the bridges that carried you over. I like to start every presentation taking a moment to remember the people who have passed on in our lives, who served as bridges to get us where we are today. Man, this is something that I do before I go up on stage. I'll just run through my mind all the happy memories I have with my grandparents or my uncle who passed on or various people. And it'll give me that strength to remember that I'm already approved before I ever do anything. Well, if I, do well with a client or not so great in a session, if I do great in a speaking engagement or not so great, if I'm in a room full of quote unquote big wigs, I'm just as big because I've already been approved by the giants in my own life, man. So just want to acknowledge those people in my life and also the space for the people in your life, y'all. For real. Let's keep going. Quick trigger warning. This might be intense. In fact, this is probably going to be intense for some people. We're not going to have no gory details, but we're talking about trauma and wounding in general. So it's going to be a lot. The way I'm about to unpack this thing is going to be not unraveling, but you're going to get a lot of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a lot of clarity. And so, if you need to take a step back, please do that. Also know that we're going to have a 5-minute intermission where we're going to be doing some grounding, some breath work and things like that. And so don't worry, I got you. It ain't going to be no gory details, but just we dealing with that subject. And so just want you to be prepared for that. But we got you. So please center your well-being, take care of yourself, use the comment section, alert one of the moderators if you need us to, to handle something. We got you. You know what I'm saying? So let's get started. All right. My name is Robert Allen Bailey. I'm a healing healer, licensed clinical social worker. I am a mental health therapist and coach. I do trainings and workshops, also keynote speaking. My practice is called the Good Condition Counseling. Our talk today, we're going to be covering the anatomy of wounding. We're going to be going through something called the distress cycle. We're going to be dealing with some bad news at first, but then we're going to get to some really, really, really good news. And so I'm excited. What I essentially want to do today is I want to take you through the life cycle of trauma, take you through the life cycle of wounding, right? I put up the analogy earlier today that if you had a vehicle and had an issue, the first thing you would want to do is get a diagnostic, figure out exactly what's wrong with it, pinpoint the issue, right? After you pinpoint the issue, you got to find a mechanic who understands that part of the vehicle. If you got those two things, you pretty much have a quick fix to the situation. Now, here's the thing. Although you fix it, a car always going to need maintenance, but you've addressed the initial issue and the car is going to run much better going forward, and you can maintain proper maintenance and the car going to be all right. So today, I'm going to give you a diagnostic model for your mind. I'm going to give you some tools, right? And this is going to be like self-healing 101. I'm going to take you from the origins of psychology, Western psychology, the foundation of it. Then I'm going to walk you through wounding from the mother to the fetus to the growth of through the growth of the child into adulthood, showing you what wounding looks like. And then by the end of this, I think it's going to be very impactful. Check this out. Let's begin. So, man, all right. So the foundations of psychology. Check this out. The foundations of psychology deal with adjustment. This idea, adjustment, meaning a person, an individual, is either well adjusted to reality or maladjusted to reality. What that essentially means is that from the Western psychological perspective, in its origins, they believe that society is essentially okay. It runs well. There's nothing wrong with it. So if you have any kind of mental health issues, it's not a reflection of society, it's a reflection of you. And so this is their general idea of being well adjusted to society, or what society might look like. You in the middle here of our circle, you have the family. You see, you got dad, you got mom, you got some kids, you got grandparents, you even got a little dog, right? You step outside of that nuclear family, you get into the community. You got Pop Warner, football, baseball. We got the barbershop, Boys and Girls Club, your religious institutions, summer camp, library, public school. You go out a little bit broader, you get into the society. You got your utilities, gas, water, power, politicians, your armed forces, your court systems, your financial structures, your media, right? And all of that is essentially running well, so you should be okay. And this is kind of what that looks like, right? If you have all those things, we enter into something called Maslow's hierarchies of needs. Now, this is a controversial diagram, but it suffices for our needs today. So essentially, we start at the bottom, and if you get each layer, it should help you move to the next layer. So what we're saying is that we start at the bottom. If you get food, sleep, and water, your basic biological needs, you should be able to get some security, a modicum of health, some finances, right? If you get those, we move on up. Should be able to maintain some friendships, some family relationships, have some intimate connections. If you have all of those naturally come with respect, status, recognition, self-esteem. And if you get all of those things, you should be able to self-actualize, fulfill your potential on the planet, right? And so you look something like this. You might become a doctor. You got the brother celebrating Kwanzaa with his family. All is well, right? I'm well adjusted to reality. Reality is working in my favor, and I respond well to it. That's the idea. But unfortunately, for us, reality is a bit broken. Starting with the transatlantic slave trade. That shook everything up for our people. Reality doesn't necessarily work in our favor. This society is wanting us to work in their favor, right? At the expense of us. And so we introduce this trauma, this historical trauma that I just discussed. But let's first, a very quick, a very simple definition of trauma: the impact of emotionally and physically harmful events. Very simple. Then we get into historical trauma, massive group trauma brought on by an event spanning generations. But it's a sneaky definition of trauma. It says the impact of emotionally and physically harmful events. So you have medical trauma, like a gunshot or car accident, you get some kind of traumatic injury, right? Trauma, medical trauma. Psychological trauma is what happens to you as a response to what you went through. So if me and you get into a car accident, I may get behind the wheel in the future and be super jumpy. And every time I hit the brakes, a car get too close, I'm jumpy. I've experienced trauma. You may be perfectly fine. You have not experienced trauma. That makes sense. You are not traumatized, at least. Now, with that being said, I discussed historical trauma. And if you see in the corner, I have the book, The Destruction of Black Civilization. If I could make every Black person on the planet read one book, just one, it would be this one. We'd be a lot better off as a people if we read this book, The Destruction of Black Civilization. It breaks down what happened to us as a people, right? Getting into that historical trauma. But let's go a little bit deeper, talking about the impact of emotionally and physically harmful events. I want to ground us in his next definition, his next quote by Dr. Gabriel May. He said, trauma is not what happens to you, it's what happens inside you. Trauma is not what happens to you, it's what happens inside you. The foundational idea that I want to give you today, that I want you to walk away with, is that what you went through isn't as important as the lie it told you. Every traumatic experience comes attached with a lie. And if you believe that lie, that's what changes your life. That's what impacts your life. If you believe the lie. Now, obviously, this is not a overarching truth. It is not a perfect truth. And I'm telling you, it's about 95% the case. Yes, you're going to have some physical things to get over and whatnot, right? You may have some physical impact from maybe some type of abuse or something like that. But largely, the long lasting layer, the ripple effect of damage comes from what happens inside you, what you believe of, what the lie that you believe that the wounding or the trauma told you, right? Okay, let's get into it. We're gonna walk our way through the life cycle of trauma in an individual. So we're gonna start with pregnancy. Every mother could suffer these issues in pregnancy: drugs and alcohol that could negatively affect the fetus, drugs and alcohol, disease and virus, maternal malnutrition, age, right? A geriatric pregnancy, father's sperm health, environmental toxins, and access to healthcare, right? Let's keep going. But for Black women, it get a little darker. Check this out, yo. Maternal mortality rate for Black mothers, 2.6 that of white mothers. That means Black women die in pregnancy 2.6 times more than white women. There was a study in Alabama where they looked at 80 pregnancy-related deaths, 80 Black women who died in pregnancy. They found that 55% of them could have been avoided. 100% avoidable. 100% avoidable. Right? We're going to move for the quote. We're going to keep it moving. 2019 preterm birth rate for Black infants, 14.4% compared to 9% for white infants. That means Black babies are born premature almost 50% more than, not 50%, but 9% of white infants are born premature, while 14.4% of Black infants are born premature. Infant mortality rate, babies die as a fetus 2 times more than white infants. Check this out. Maternal mortality rates, mothers dying in pregnancy and children dying during pregnancy. African and women, they meet the universal average. They're just on par. Within a year of moving to America, African and Caribbean women, their numbers match that of Black American women. Right. The basic premise here that I need you to understand is that our women are walking into the hospital pregnant and they're coming out dead, yo. And we need our brothers to become assets in the pregnancy process. You got to get more training. You got to be present for your cousin, your auntie, especially your wife, your girlfriend, or your baby's mother. You got to be present. You got to be knowledgeable. You got to be an asset. You got to be an advocate in this process, because before you even enter the world, you and your children are already under attack. And this attack is so insidious that not only does it seep biologically into our children very, very quickly, but it seeps into their minds just after birth. I mean, not too far after birth. And I'm going to show you a demonstration. I want to introduce you to the Clark doll experiments if you're not familiar. The Clark doll experiments. Check this out.
Which doll is the black doll? And which one is the white doll? That one. Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and she has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you?
Me?
Yeah, which one looks like you?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll.
what do you think? Those babies may be 4, 5 years old at the most. Already there's this inbuilt insecurity. This lie, this insidious lie has already been taking root. And to your knowledge, these babies may not have even had, to your understanding, any significant experiences with white people yet. And already they have this knowing that they are somehow deficient or inferior in some way, right? And so again, this lie has embedded itself. And what I want to break down is the process that these lies that are attached to wounding, how they get into our minds. That's what I want to do. So I have this model here for you. We have the subconscious mind, the nervous system, and the egocentric state. The subconscious mind, the nervous system, and the egocentric state. All of these are in development when a child is born. They continue in development throughout life, but the majority of their development is happening till about 7 or 8 years old. During this process, they are in a very malleable state. They are like wet concrete that can be shaped and formed and impressed upon. But around 7 or 8 years old, it solidifies, and whatever it's working with is pretty much set in stone, unless there's some very intentional help or intervention that comes, right? And so I'm going to take you through each of these briefly through each of these points, and I'm going to show you how the lie sets into our minds. And when we get through this, you're going to understand yourself a lot better. We're going to start with the subconscious mind. Check this out. The subconscious mind is, I want you to think of it, subconscious versus conscious. It's like your automatic transmission versus your manual transmission. This is your automatic transmission. It's doing the work for you. It's working in the background. It's processing in the background. Think of it like iOS. I don't really know how iOS work. I'm not gonna hold you. Every once in a while, Apple send me an update. I updated Sierra, Nevada, Colorado. All you know what I'm saying. It just sends me a bunch of joints. Don't really know what's going on. I know Instagram, Facebook, Gmail, TikTok, right? The subconscious mind is iOS. The conscious mind is the Facebook, all of that. The subconscious mind, to tell you a little bit about it, it's in control of all of the automatic functions in the body. You think blinking, breathing, heartbeat, digestion, all the different chemical processes that are happening in the body, the liver, the enzyme production, the hormone production, all of that is dictated by the subconscious mind. It is not under your conscious control. It's happening without you. But especially during early childhood, the subconscious mind is in control of memory creation. The subconscious mind is in control of what you remember, what memories pop to the surface, what things you're reminded of, be they happy, joyful, shameful, dark. Not only does it control which ones are remembered and which ones are pop up, but it can also change a memory. It can take a memory and change the scene and how you remember it in order to keep you safe. The subconscious mind is obsessed with survival, for your biological survival and for your psychological survival. We'll get into that later. It will, if it knows that a memory that you have is too intense for you, it might decide to take it away from you totally. I work with clients who they may not be able to remember 5th grade at all, or they may have a memory that is mangled. It is distorted in their minds, right? Not only that, but the subconscious mind stores primary beliefs. All the things that you think about the world, that you believe about yourself, that you believe about society, God, religion, all of these things are programmed into you, and the subconscious mind keeps them. Now, here's the thing that you need to know about the subconscious mind in early childhood is that it's super absorbent, right? Tune in if you tuned out. It's super absorbent. It is absorbing information from the environment. A child's mind grows to about 80% of its adult size by 3 years old. It is growing massively, taking in everything from the environment. But here's the next thing, that the brain during that time period is operating in a theta state. That's the brain state of dreaming. Yeah. It's also the brain state of hypnosis. So not only is the child absorbing everything from the environment, they're being hypnotized by it. I need you to hear me right now. This is worth your time. They're being hypnotized by it, everything that's going on. Here's the dangerous part. They have no logical or rational filter with which to stop anything from coming into their mind. It's just all coming in. Whatever's happening in the home, whatever's happening in the environment, is all coming in. They're taking it in, and they can't stop any of it from entering. Yeah, that's the subconscious mind. Okay, now hold that in place. All right, we're going to talk about the egocentric state. The egocentric state. The basic idea here is that when a child is in the mother's womb, it is one being with the mother. The child is made from the stuff of the mother. And so when the child is born, it has to go through a psychological process of understanding that it's a different being from the mother. Yeah. Not only that, but they think they're one with the environment. The dangerous thing about the egocentric state is that the child believes it's responsible for the caretakers in the environment. So this cannot be overstated. And so if mom come home and she's stressed out and irritable and maybe verbally or emotionally abusive, the child takes it in and says, I must have done something, or I must not be good enough, or I must be bad, or I must be unintelligent. If daddy's not in the home, daddy don't want to take no time for him, I must not be valuable, I must not be good enough. The child takes responsibility because it believes it is one with the environment. And so it's doing all of it. Yeah. This internal belief system is what creates what we call negative core beliefs. Daddy not there, or I'm not good enough. That's without intervention, without some kind of explanation, that sits in the mind and it begins to rot in the child. And that after about 7 or 8 years old, that will sink itself as a core belief. I am Robert and I am not good enough. That's my bio. That's my introduction. And so I want to show you this in real time so that it can really, really sink in. Check this out. Then we'll get back to it.
Babies this young are extremely responsive to the emotions and the reactivity and the social interaction that they get from the world around them. This is something that we started studying 30, 40 years ago, when people didn't think that infants could engage in social interaction. In this still face experiment, what the mother did was she sits down and she's playing with her baby, who's about a year of age.
I'm like a girl. Oh.
And she gives a greeting to the baby gives a greeting back to her.
Yeah.
This baby starts pointing at different places in the world, and the mother's trying to engage her and play with her. They're working to coordinate their emotions and their intentions, what they want to do in the world. And that's really what the baby is used to. And then we ask the mother to not respond to the baby. The baby very quickly picks up on this. And then she uses all of her abilities to try and get the mother back. She smiles at the mother. She points because she's used to the mother looking where she points. The baby puts both hands up in front of her and says, "What's happening here?" She makes that screechy sound at the mother, like, "Come on, why aren't we doing this?" Even in this 2 minutes, when they don't get the normal reaction, they react with negative emotions. They turn away. They feel the stress of it. They actually may lose control of their posture because of the stress that they're experiencing.
Okay. I'm here. And what are you doing? Oh, yes. Oh, what a big girl.
It's a little like the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that normal stuff that goes on, that we all do with our kids. The bad is when something bad happens, but the infant can overcome it. After all, when you stop the still face, the mother and the baby start to play again. The ugly is when you don't give the child any chance to get back to the good. There's no reparation, and they're stuck in that really ugly situation.
Man, listen, cannot be overstated. You saw the response. I don't know if y'all noticed how quickly the baby realized mama was tripping. Let me go to it real quick.
Their emotion
Check this out.
in the world, and
How
that's
quickly
really
she
what
notices. Look at this.
the baby very
Boom.
quickly picks up on.
Immediately, right? Immediately notices. Now, this is just a mother with a blank face. She just not doing nothing. She not snapping on the baby. She not knocking the baby upside the head. She not cursing the baby out. She just got a blank face. The baby is losing her stuff because the child, the egocentric state, the process of the Google Gaga with the mother, they believe that they're dictating the mother's behavior. This sets the foundation for self-esteem. It makes the child believe I can act upon the world. I can move through the world and act upon it and be successful because my mother responded positively to me when I did all these things. And it is training the baby that I have ability. And so when the mother or the father or the brother or the auntie or the grandparent or whoever or the community member, the church member, when they violate, when we are this young, it infects our belief system about the power we have to move through the world. Oh man, yo, insidious, man. Let's get into the nervous system. All right, check this out. The nervous system is the communication highway between the outside of your body, the brain, and the rest of the organs. It is a series of highways that attach to your liver, the skin, the ovaries, or the testes, or the heart, or the lungs, and it's sending communication. You step outside and it's cold. The skin is like, hey, yo, brain, it's cold outside. The brain holler back down. Okay, yo, look, send him some goose pimples. Make his hair stand up on end. Make him shiver so he could try to keep warm. It's a communication, right? But the nervous system is also in control of your sense of calm and balance. We call it homeostasis, baseline, right? It's in control of your baseline. It's also in control of your stress response. We call it fight, flight, or freeze. There's some other ones, but for right now, fight, flight, or freeze. So if you run into a stressful event, your natural reaction is to either fight, run, or freeze, right? It's in control of all of those processes. But until about 7 or 8 years old, again, it's like wet cement, like wet putty until it sets. And here's what you need to know about the brain. The brain learns through repetition. And so in order for your body to have a internal state of calm, a homeostasis, a baseline of calm, it has to practice it. And your baseline will be set by based upon what it practices. And so if you experience a massive amount of wounding and trauma throughout your childhood, your baseline may set at anxiety. So everything can be fine in the world. You can be sitting in your room by yourself, doing okay. You're not in any danger, and anxiety just racking your body. Depression, your baseline can be set at depression. Your baseline can be set at irritability. And oftentimes your baseline can be set based upon when you experience the trauma. So a small child may not have the option of fighting and running. So they revert to freeze, right? You may be a little older, you may have a chance to talk back and fight. And so now your baseline may be set at irritable, anxious, depressed, or it might be more than one, right? And here's the thing that is insidious about this whole process is that in our culture, you better have the right stress response. If you have freeze as a stress response, forgive my French, but we talking to brothers here. I just want to be honest. If you have freeze as a stress response, something you can't control, now you a bitch, now you a hoe, now you a pussy, now you fool, you a lick, right? You can get violated. Our culture, we've made culture out of trauma. There's desired trauma, and look, running is worse than freezing. And look, here's the thing: the most desirable stress response, which is fight, is the one that's going to do the most damage to you. That's the one. The fight response is the one that got our baby boys blowing each other brains out on the street, got them in the graveyard, got them doing 150 years in the penitentiary. It's the fight response. We've made a culture out of how we manage stress. And check this out. So now I'm a young boy. My nervous system is set to anxiety. I got negative core beliefs on the side, right? And now it's like I have a bubble over my head. They say every man is a universe unto himself. And now these core beliefs, and here's how I want you to think of it. These core beliefs work like masks. I don't know if you remember Jim Carrey, the mask. Jim Carrey, he would originally in the movie, his original character is a cornball. He a lame. He can't dance. He can't get no girls. He can't fight. But one day he finds this magical mask and he puts it on his face. And the mask has like a spirit attached to it. Do like mind control. It take him over. Now he a player. He could dance. He could shoot guns. He could fight. You know what I'm saying? Like he a cold boy, right? And this mask is working upon him. But the more that he put the mask on, the more that it sinks into his personality and takes over. And he begins to be unable to distinguish between a mask and his real self. And that's how these masks are. I am unlovable is a mask that jump on you. These masks, man, you could almost think of it like possession. These negative core beliefs, they have preferred taste. They like certain foods. They like certain activities. They like certain, activities that let's say unlovable. Unlovable, it like sugary foods. Unlovable is promiscuous. It has no boundaries with the women or men that it deals with. It doesn't feel like it has a right to dictate, who it deals with sexually. I'm unlovable has no boundaries with friends. It's a flunky. It's a yes man. It's a people pleaser. I'm not good enough. It prefers isolation. It's an anxious mask. It likes crunchy food, fried chicken, greasy, chewy type foods, right? These things, they come with, and not only do they come with preferences and desires, they come with actions. I am unlovable. Like I said, it's promiscuous. I am unwanted. It's isolated, but it'll snap on you. I have no purpose. It lacks drive. It's a couch potato. Yeah. And these things are like floating in the background of your psyche, and they will jump on you at any given time, depending on who's called to the surface. And we call those triggers. If you're triggered, a mass will come to the surface. Now, let's let it be said that we also, at the same time that we're developing negative core beliefs, chances are that we're developing positive core beliefs. I am smart. I am special. You may have a grandparent or a parent or a brother or sister or a community member, a teacher that thinks well of you and pours into you. And so what happens is these masks are competing. And it wouldn't even be right to call the I am smart, I am special, I am worthy a mask. That's actually the truth. And so now the mask is in competition with the truth, and there is a war going on in the mind of every Black boy, of every person on the planet, but particularly every Black boy. There's a war going on. Am I a gangster or am I an educated man? Am I a player or am I a husband and a father? Am I a thief or am I a hard worker? Am I dumb or am I smart? It's a war going on. And so now I got to walk into society with this war in my mind. And I hit my teenage years, and now my brain begins to go through some other changes. The teenage brain is impulsive. It doesn't think a lot before it acts. It just goes. It's there's some new research around this, but we ain't getting into all of that. It's impulsive. It's quick to behave. It's socially oriented. Is looking to fit in. And so it has less inhibition, right? It's also emotionally sensitive. Everything is at a maximum: anger, sadness, depression, whatever it is, happiness, all of it is at an extreme. So if you walk into any high school, that's what you're going to see: a bunch of impulsive kids, right, who are experiencing everything at a maximum. But then also the brain is increasing in efficiency. What do I mean by that? Biologically, the brain is pruning itself. It's getting rid of all the things that it doesn't need from earlier forms of childhood. and it's making it easier for to do the things that have kept you alive. Yeah. So if anger has kept you alive, it gets you quicker there, right? Your brain already impulsive, but it's also getting better. If depression has kept you alive, you've retreated to your room, it will get you quicker there. Yeah. These negative core beliefs can become almost personalities, right? And so now I have to interact with an adult world. I gotta run into the cops with this mindset. I gotta navigate gangs depending on what neighborhood I live in. And I gotta navigate drugs and alcohol. I'm building a body on bad food, fast food, right? I may have housing instability, or there may be chaos in the home. I might be incarcerated. I might be in juvie, or I might have an incarcerated member of my family. I got to navigate my social circle, women, men, friendships, romantic relationships. I'm having sex. All of these things are happening. I got to navigate violence in the neighborhood. I got to navigate conflict. And then on top of all of that going on in my mind, I got to learn math. I got to learn math. I got to learn about George Washington. And worst of all is that I'm being miseducated. Let's keep it real. The education, the kid, the baby's being miseducated. So I gotta learn to educate. And they smart enough to know. We knew as kids we wasn't gonna be using most of this stuff. We knew it was trash. These kids got the internet. They definitely know it's worthless. And so you want me to learn this stuff when I can't even Miss Johnson get out of my face. That's why the babies are swinging on the teachers. They doing all kind of craziness. It's because there is a war going on in the mind. They are trapped. They are in prison in the mind. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be held accountable, that whatever. I'm not saying none of that. That parents shouldn't take charge. What I'm saying is that there has been a history of trauma that has been building upon itself with every generation. And the babies is struggling, the teachers is struggling, the parents is struggling. We all barely here, trying to keep up with capitalism, running the rat race. Our nervous system is fatigued, it's tired. Our minds are tired, and they're being taken over by the negative core beliefs. And so we got to do less finger pointing, and we got to get more to the core of the issue. There shouldn't be a public school that's not trauma informed. We know the babies is traumatized, but we won't deal with it. We just get on social media and laugh at the babies when they crash out, right? We just watch the babies kill each other and violate the teachers and the adults, because they are underneath the trauma. They don't really got no solutions for real, and the government don't want you to have no solutions. Let's keep it real. It really don't want a well-functioning Black society, because we were brought here for labor. You just need to work. You don't need to be that. So we're gonna let a couple of y'all make it through, and we'll give y'all a few grants and all of that, but we ain't gonna overhaul the system. And it's people actively fighting against. Anyway, we in the mean tangent, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. Now let's pause here. This is probably a good time for us to take our break. We're going to take our break. We're going to do some grounding exercises. And I also need to restart Instagram. And so we're going to restart Instagram. To our Instagram viewers, I want you to jump back on. We got about maybe 10 more minutes after our little break that we're gonna wrap up the presentation. Then we're gonna get in some Q&A. I want you to ask some questions, but you don't want to miss this part. We about to wrap it in a nice little bow right here. But look, let me stop this sharing. Let me stop sharing. Okay. All right. let's take a pause. Let's take a pause. All right. I want you to do some deep grounding breaths. When I say deep grounding breaths, I mean 100% breath. Start with a complete exhale. You're emptying your lungs completely of air. And then you're doing a full inhale, right? Complete exhale, complete inhale. We're going to do it 5 times. I want you to go through that 5 times. In fact, for Instagram, I just want you to do it till I get back. Okay, right? We're going to do it till we get back. I'll be right back with you. Just do some deep breathing. Close your eyes and breathe. That's all I want you to do. Yeah. Give me 1 second here, y'all. Apologies. Just gotta get Instagram right. I'm the only one who can do it. Give us 1 second here. Boom. Boom. Let me make sure we right. Let me make sure we together. Be with you in 1 second. I think we should be okay. Let's see. Let's see if it works. One moment for technical difficulties. It is trying to make me throw away the Instagram video. We gonna have to let it go. We got another recording. It's okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Public. Let's see if we jump back on. Well, let me double check. StreamYard. Make sure I'm okay. Okay. Let's see here. Thank you for bearing with us. Copy.
Yeah, this has been a crazy discussion so far, man. AB, what's your thoughts so far?
Bro, listen, man. Man, it's layered. I'm still honestly just on that whole part of just breaking down the subconscious development, man, that theta state. And I'm actually honestly just going over some moments in my life personally. So it's like I'm listening to the jewels, but I'm also doing some introspection. Like, man, nah, this is real. But being a kid, you didn't know what was going on. So
yeah.
it's solid, bro.
Appreciate you, brothers, man. Save you.
Do it. Yeah.
So let's do some quick breathing, y'all. Let's do some quick breathing. 2 deep breaths just to reorient ourselves. Go ahead and close your eyes. Deep inhale as much as you can, and then empty the lungs to complete 0. In and out through the nose. 1 more. All right. Now we're gonna do something called scanning. We're gonna bring our awareness to the top of our heads, and we're gonna scan through our body looking for any tension. All right. And so scan down through the forehead, unfurrow the forehead, unclench the forehead, relax the eyebrows, scan down through the face into the cheekbones and in the jaw, relax the jaw and the cheekbones, scan down into the shoulders, let the shoulders relax. Relax the entire face and relax the shoulders. Bring your awareness to your back and your bottom for the seat, bed, or chair that may be supporting your weight. Just bring your awareness to it. Notice the support. Scan down through the arms. Track through the bicep, tricep area, into the forearm, into the hands, and out through the fingers. And notice any sensations that you may feel in the arms. You might get like a buzzing, tingling, vibrating kind of thing going. You might even feel the difference in temperature on your palms and maybe on your hands or arms may be uncovered. They might feel different from maybe your abdomen. Track down through the abdomen, through the chest area, into the stomach. Noticing any sensation there. I got kind of like a warmth going in my stomach. Track down into the legs, your thighs, through the thighs, into the knees, down through the calves and the shins, and out through the feet and the toes. And again, notice any sensations that you might have there, any vibrating, pulsing, pinpricks, numbness, whatever. You might feel a little pain if you saw me on the basketball court, your ankles or something like that. And so just, it's okay. right? And so now come into a full body awareness. Scan quickly through the body again. Relax the face, relax the shoulders. Take some good deep breaths while you're doing it. And just notice how it feels to sit inside your skin. Just be in the body. Yeah. Now we're going to do some quick, they call it progressive muscle relaxation. Maybe there's a better name for it. But what I want you to do is I'm going to ask you to take a deep inhale and to hold your breath. And when I do that, I want you to simultaneously flex the part of the body that I'm asking you to flex, right? And so we're going to start with our arms, our total arms. You're going to clench the fist, flex the biceps and the triceps and forearms and all of that while holding your breath. Take a deep inhale and flex. Hold it. And release. Now I want you to do the entire upper body, forearms, biceps, triceps, your back, any back muscles you could access, abdomens, chest, everything upper body. I want you to flex while holding your breath. And begin. Take a deep inhale and hold. And release. Roll it out a little bit. I want you to do the lower body, the glutes, the booty, the thighs, the calves, the everything, the toes. Flex all of the lower body. And begin. Take a deep inhale and flex. And release. Now we're going to do total body, whole body, everything. Flex everything. Take a deep inhale and flex everything. And release. All right, y'all. We about to get back into it. We got a few minutes. We're going to run through this. All right. I want you to check this out. Yeah, let's get back to it. All right. Let's get to it. I'm going entire screen. Skirt. Ooh, where my screen go? There we go. All right. So we coming out of our teenage years, right? Coming out of our teenage years, and we're going into adulthood. Because of the process that we've just talked about, most adults enter into something called the distress cycle. I want you to check this out. We have the event, snap judgment, intense emotion, overwhelm, urge to act on emotion, regrettable action, and consequences. Check this out. You have an event that may happen. Say your boss gives you a correction at work or something like that, right? This is the trigger. You make a snap judgment in that moment. Everybody does. The snap judgment will be dictated a good bit by what negative or positive core beliefs pop up at that moment. What core beliefs are created by the experiences in early childhood. They're shaped by them. The early experiences in childhood, they shape how we view the world around us. So that creates the snap judgment. Oh, I already know what's happening because the subconscious mind has already been programmed. So it takes over in that moment. Oh, I already know what's happening. This will remind me of when my mom or my daddy, the dude down the street, whatever tried to play me. Okay. With that snap judgment, that negative core belief comes intense emotion and strong physical reaction, right? Those core beliefs are packaged with physical symptoms, namely fight, flight, and freeze, but include a range of emotions and sensations. Because it's happening in my brain and was happening in my body, I'm completely overwhelmed by it, right? Physical pain and emotional pain happen in the same areas of the brain. And so you may react to emotional pain like it's physical, like somebody actually trying to do something to you when they're trying to correct you or give you whatever, right? Like, some kind of correction or something like that. Also, sidebar, this is why children cut themselves, because emotional pain and physical pain are in the same areas of the brain. Like if they're feeling too much emotional pain and they cut, it's like it like cancels out. It's like what you feel when you take a hit of that strong liquor or some wine, or you hit that weed. That's the same thing that the baby feel when they cut themselves, right? It numbs the pain. It's the same thing that a person might feel when they take that first bite of the fried chicken sitting down watching House of Dragons. It's like, oh, I'm good, right? This is the brain at work, and so I'm overwhelmed in this moment. I'm overwhelmed, and I now have an urge to act. Self-preservation, the first law of nature. I'm urged to act, right? Boom. Because of the urge to act, that leads to a regrettable action, right? Regrettable action leads to consequences, and then we reset the event or trigger. With every time we go around this cycle, the trigger that's involved, not only does it blow up, but it gets more sensitive. It gets more sensitive, and it's easier to set it off next time, right? And so you arguing with your spouse, and you have a moment where it's like, yo, I could be calm or I could turn up, right? And I make a snap judgment. Boom. I'm leaning in. Boom. I feel it in my body. I'm overwhelmed, urge to act, regrettable action. I had a chance to change the course. I done said something I shouldn't have said. I done did something I shouldn't have done. I done reacted poorly, broke something, put a hole in the wall, cursed her out, whatever. Now we got to deal with the consequences, and it gets reset. And I want you to look at this cycle. This is the stress cycle. I want you to look at it as a landmine. It's a landmine. And everybody got 10, 15, 20 of these. And this is why it's difficult for relationships to work, because everybody is trying to cross a minefield in order to interact with each other. He or she is trying to cross a minefield to get to you, and you trying to get across a minefield to get to them. It might be better stated that they want you to cross their minefield and you want them to cross your minefield while y'all each got minefields of your own. Yeah. Right. Like I said previously, the brain is wired for survival. The brain is wired for survival. And so subconsciously in the background, it's trying to solve all your problems. That's why they say at night, your brain is problem solving. That's why they say sleep on it, because you wake up in the morning, you feel a little clearer. You might have an answer or a solution. It's because your subconscious mind is problem solving in the background. Most wounded people, they attract to each other like moths to a flame, like moths to a flame. Our subconscious mind, there's a therapeutic model that states that we subconsciously select people that remind us of our childhood wounding, because we subconsciously we want them to help us solve it, right? And so, ooh, you remind me of my childhood home. If I get with you, we will be able to work out what happened in my childhood. But you don't know that you're inviting them into this movie as the supporting cast, and they don't know that they're signing up for this role either. More than that, they're signing you up for their movie. And so it's like two directors trying to make the other person act, and it's chaos, because both people are trying to solve their childhood wounds through the other person, and it ain't gonna work. Only you can do that. Only you can do that. And this is why our relationship, we got landmines set up in place, and we're just walking around this circle our entire lives, right? And instead of moving up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where we reach self-actualization, we end up on the trauma cycle. Check this out. You got generational trauma, historical trauma, like we talked about in the beginning. And then we have conception, right? We're born into our local context, our city, our state, our family context, transatlantic slave trade on up, mass incarceration, food deserts, or whatever's going on in your family too, right? Like whatever's the unique circumstances of your family. That leads to adverse childhood experiences or traumatic experiences. Yeah, like we go through wounding as children. This leads to, like we talked about, disrupted neurodevelopment. Neurodevelopment is the brain, the subconscious mind, the nervous system is disrupted. That disruption leads to what we talked about: social, emotional, and cognitive impairment. It impacts the way that I move through the world. I'm irritable, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I have low self-esteem, right? All of these things lead to the adoption of health risk behavior. What do I mean by that? That's the smoking, the drinking, the unhealthy sex practices. That's the robbing and the shooting that the babies is doing in the neighborhoods. It's all of these, it's the pills and all of that they doing. That leads to what? Disease, disability, and social problems. I'm sick. I may have got hit. I can't walk. I'm in a wheelchair. Social problems. I can't make a relationship work. I'm violating, I'm abusive, or I use abusive tactics, right? What did this eventually lead to? Early death. Early death. Check this out. I'm gonna just read the bottom. The nation's health disparities have had a tragic impact over the past 2 decades. How many decades did I say? 2 decades, not 5 decades, not 10 decades, not 100 years. Over the past 20 years, the higher mortality rate among Black Americans resulted in 1.6 million excess deaths compared to white Americans. I'm gonna read that again. Over the past 2 decades, the higher mortality rate among Black Americans has resulted in 1.6 million excess deaths compared to white Americans. That higher mortality rate resulted in a cumulative loss of more than 80 million years of life due to people dying young, and billions of dollars in healthcare and lost opportunity. When you look at, that's the bad news. Finish off the bad news. When you go to the CDC website and you look at the top 5 causes of death for Black boys and Black men from 18 to about 45 years old, 4 out of 5 of them are directly mental health related. Suicide, homicide, heart disease, cancer, right? Like they're directly mental health related, directly. And it is all because of these processes that are happening in the brain and what they make us believe about ourselves. And those beliefs, they work us like puppets because the subconscious mind, which is largely in control, has an 8-year head start on the conscious mind. You got a gorilla in your brain, right? And depending on how it was processed, it might not be on your side. And it is running things. And if you do not take control of your mind, it will forever dictate the outcome of your life, relationship, career, finances, what you believe about yourself. When you can't work up, when you procrastinating, when you can't get out of bed, when you hitting that weed, when you hitting that alcohol, when you dealing with that woman that you know not good for you, or that guy that you know that's not good for you, when you running out on your kids, when you whatever is the dysfunctional activity that you're doing in your life, it is this process that's in control. It is this process. All negative behavior is safety seeking activity. I'm gonna say it one more time. All negative behavior is safety seeking activity. If I put my hand on my woman, it's because I'm scared. And the intensity of the chaos, the intensity of her holding me to account is too much. It makes me afraid. My brain is seeking psychological survival. And I'm a good guy. You trying to make me act like I'm not. You made me do it, right? Right? It's safety seeking. If I go steal, it's because I have a lack of resources. Or in my mind, I have a lack of resources, right? If I join a gang, I'm looking for safety. All negative behavior is safety. I'm looking to protect myself, right? The good news is that you can take back control. That the mind is under your control, but it's something you have to practice. The brain learns through repetition. The brain learns through. It takes work in order to do it. You got to have the information, and without this information, it like, look, good luck. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. I got a few quotes. We're gonna wrap up. First one is one of my favorites from my guy Mufasa, the Lion King, Simba. Remember who you are. You are more than what you have become. You are more than what you have become. No matter how good your life is going, I wouldn't care how bad it is. You are more than what you become. If you can get these weights off of you, if you can get these masks out of your head and begin fighting back against them, you'll be more than what you are. Marcus Garvey said, we are going to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, because while others may free the body, nobody but ourselves can free the mind. You got to hear me. Nobody but yourself. Look, I know some of y'all might be religious. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say Jesus can't deliver you from X, Y, and Z. I ain't going to say it. Maybe Jesus could take the taste of alcohol out of your mouth, but most people got to go to AA. Most people got to go to Alcohol Anonymous, right? God may be able to do X, Y, and Z, but for the majority of us, you're going to have to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. That's your work to do, right? Now, there's gems given in these religious traditions and things like that. And we have therapists and we have friends who want to help us and all of that. But at the end of the day, if you will not make the commitment to walk the path of healing, you will forever return back to mental slavery. You are destined for mental slavery. It is a life sentence unless you're going to fight against it. I'm telling you this. You got to hear me. Look, I got an autoimmune disorder. I got 2 options. You got to hear me. I got 2 options. I take medication for the rest of my days, or I live healthy for the rest of my days. I eat clean for the rest. I have no other, or I live sick. Period. They're my only option. I'm trapped. I'm in a life sentence. I can't get out of it. I wish I could just live and just live free and just do my thing and eat fried chicken and Skittles and honey buns for the rest of my days and drink liquor, and my body can't take it. My body can't. I'm gonna die. Facts. Can't do it. You got to make a choice, and the choice got to be made every day. It got to be made multiple times throughout the day, right? Last quote. Check this out. Yes, you will rise from the ashes. I got you. Trust me. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how you get out of this. I got you. I'm not going to leave here. I got you. Yes, you will rise from the ashes, but the burning comes first. For this part, darling, you must be brave. This take courage. I no longer judge a man, and I haven't for a long time based upon how tough he act and the bravado and the macho. Let me see if you will challenge yourself, man. Confucius say the mightiest warrior is he who conquers himself. Look, man, I'm a therapist. I deal with the real every day. You ain't fooling nobody. I could see through. Look, man. Listen, like, yo, the mightiest warrior is he who conquers himself. You must be brave. This takes courage. This takes courage because you will feel, as you begin to unpack these masks, you're going to feel it from the age period at which you got it. So if you got that wound at 8, you're going to feel it like an 8-year-old. You ain't going to feel it like a 45-year-old. A majority of the work that I do with the brothers is, helping them believe that their pain is worthy, right? That their pain is significant, that it's not this throwaway thing, right? That they have the right to center their pain, and acknowledge it and work through it. That is valuable. That is not worthless because it happened when they were 8, that they got to just muscle through it. No. You must honor the pain in order to release it. You have to, because if not, then it works more powerfully upon you. If you ignore it, it's like a monster in the background. You got to acknowledge it. You got to call it front and center. You got to deal with it. You got to deal with it every day. And so, my brothers, firstly, I'm sorry. Yo, if nobody ever told you, I'm sorry that it happened to you. Sorry that you went through it. I know how it hurt you in my own way. You feel me? I don't know your exact pain, but I know you had some. Everybody has some. I'm sorry that you had to go through it. But I want you to know that it is time now. Not only are you able, it is time. You are not here for no reason. It is time for you to overcome it, to not let that pain control you any further. It is time to take back control, to live consciously, not subconsciously anymore. We live in consciously. We about to heal the subconscious mind and bring it back under our dominion. Yeah, so that we can live the lives that we're meant to live and fulfill our potential. And so let us make man into a new image, to the original image, into a better image, that higher self. It's time, man. The world is in need of men, of courageous men. Courageous men. We had enough of the other kind of men, bro. We had enough of the pimps and the players and the gangsters and the deadbeat dads and all of that, man. Enough, man. Out of here with them dudes, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is time for men that got a backbone, upright men, righteous men. It's time for that, man. So thank you for your time. I appreciate y'all. Let's get into that Q&A so we can let these people go, man.
My goodness, this is wild, man. This is crazy. Guys, if y'all have any questions, begin to to post them, to begin to bring them. I had some liners on here, some one-liners, some quotes. Man, sheesh, this man said you got a gorilla in your brain, and according to how it was set up, it might not be on your side. It might not be on your side, man.
That's right.
Yeah, talk to me, fellas. What y'all think, man? What's happening with y'all, man?
Man, this is what we need. Especially I think just within our community as Black men specifically, this is long overdue. You don't have too many people talking about this, man, and then to have someone that's gonna walk them through it. It's like you explaining to people why their reality is the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? You answering generational questions,
Yes.
providing clarity, right? And then on top of that, providing a space where that stuff can be discussed and worked through. Because it's one thing to be going through life blind, you don't know why stuff just happens, so you reacting. But then when you figure out what's going on, where do you go to be able to unpack that in a space that is healing? So and the facts are there, the research is there, life experiences are there. You know what I'm saying, to confirm the research. So it's one of those ones, bro.
Or
This is it, man. We make it. Let's make man. We need a new image, bro. We need a new blueprint, a new model. For sure.
Yeah.
Man.
What about y'all, man? Like, I mean, Q, I know you said you got your one lines. You gave the one. Like, what would you say for you, bro? What was something that stood out to you that you could just resonate with off top?
Man, when I was in St. Louis, I went in St. Louis and I was a chaplain at the hospital there. And Rob, I think I told you this story possibly before, but I was at the hospital and one of the people, I got called upstairs for a death. Basically, the person was brain dead, 21 years old. They were about to get ready to look. You had the organ donor, you know, people like on the side. They were trying to find out exactly, you know, if the family was going to be able to handle the organs. And the dude was 21. The situation that took place was he got upset at his baby mama and he shot his baby mama and her, shot the baby mama and the baby that she was pregnant at the time. He went and started driving. Police saw him driving a little, you know, crazily. They wasn't even thinking about they didn't know what happened. They pulled him over. When they got outside, he shot himself. So now you got this 21-year-old that's about to pass away. The people that are trying to find out what to do with his organs. And my question was, what was the origin story to get him to this point? And Rob, you like, bro, you laid it out. The landmines that we deal with, the landmines that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and we don't know how to handle that gorilla. We don't know how to handle those landmines. And so it leads us to making regrettable actions, and sometimes actions that we can never take back because our lives are ended. And so it's one thing to see the event and then try to do some work on it, but it's another thing to know the origin of where all this starts. And I'm just so grateful that you laid that thing out, man. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah. I see we got some questions, man.
Let's get to them.
Y'all want to get to these? Yeah.
Okay, we got one says from Morena. I hope I'm Marana. Yeah. It says, Doc, how do we help our adults heal from their own gorillas?
Yeah, man. So look, this is what we're gonna be getting in tomorrow, but I'll give you like a little snippet today. Firstly, the first thing is you got to be willing, right? Like you got to be willing to do it, because it's one thing to say it, but you got to hunt it down, man. We'll get on the internet. We'll look through a million reviews before we go out to eat. We'll look through a bunch of restaurants before we buy some on Amazon. We'll search through the listings and find the exact one that we need for the price and you know, 5 stars and all of that, man. But man, we won't even go try therapy. You know what I'm saying? And if we go to the first therapist, we just give up, or the missus got to make us do it. We won't spend no money on no books. And if we buy the books, we ain't gonna read the books. We won't get the program, right? We won't go to where the black men are gathering together to talk about our problems. That's corny. So it's like the first thing is you got to be hungry for wellness. You got to be tired of it. That's A. B, you got to be willing to release the things that have been keeping you safe. The anger been keeping you safe. The side chick been keeping you safe. The cocaine been keeping you safe. The liquor been keeping you safe. You got to be willing to release those things. You got to be ready to get into that battle with them things. Then we get into the actual healing path. There's 3 easy parts that we could talk about really quickly today, man. Right? Check this out, man. Very simple. Meditation, breath work, affirmations. Meditations, it could be really, really deep. The basic thing here with meditation is that it gives you control in your mind. We say, oh, sit comfortably and listen to your breathing. When your mind begins to wander, bring it back to the breathing. Your mind gonna wander all day during meditation. People be like, oh, it don't work. The idea is that every time you bring it back from your thoughts back to your breathing, it's like doing a mental push-up. You're just sitting there doing mental push-ups, so that when your brain begins to wander into something you don't like, something that's distressing, you can pull it back and say, I don't want to think about that right now. Your brain is an automatic function. You're never going to stop thinking to the day you die. It's like a TV with a million channels and a bazillion shows and commercials, and they pop up randomly. Meditation give you a remote control, and it help you put some distance between you and your thoughts. You begin to realize that, oh, I'm not actually my thoughts. These things just pop up. It's just like automatic, like, you know, and you can get some distance and you can change the channel. Breath work helps us take back. So that's the subconscious mind that we dealing with. It. The breath work deals with the nervous system. For whatever reason, our bodies are designed that when we take a deep breath, it signals to our bodies that we safe. You run from a pit bull to get inside the house. I made it. Your body say, oh, I'm safe now with the deep breath. So we hack the breathing. Every breath tells our body, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. Right. And so we utilize this to hot wire the nervous system. And as we do it over time, remember the brain learns through repetition. So as we make a practice out of these things, the mind begins to calm down and it begins to reshape homeostasis in our baseline. It goes back to normal and it begins to learn, oh, I can actually come back here. Oh, okay. It's a little scary at first, but okay, I can come here, right? Affirmations directly attack the negative core beliefs. The brain learns through repetition. The mind is constantly reminding me. I have a negative audio playlist on shuffle in my mind all day. Good. I have to be intentional about the information that at a certain point it's just a numbers game. It's a numbers game. I gotta tell myself the truth, some good things about myself to fight back against the bad ones. And the thing is, your brain, as you repeat it over and over again, you hypnotizing yourself. You say it before you go to sleep. You say it when you wake up in the morning, right? You're hypnotizing your brain to believe, oh, I can do this. I am a problem solver. What have you, right? You're doing all these things. Now, here's the thing about meditation. I don't really like to sit down, quiet meditation. But yo, I love being out on a kayak. I love being out on a kayak. That quiet my mind, it shuts my mind down. My mind is silent. And not childhood anxiety. I thought anxiety was normal. I just thought there was something wrong with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but kayaking shuts my mind down. Hiking shuts my mind down, right? You know, being with some really, really close friends, we laughing and joking, shuts my mind down, right? So meditation is anything that calms the mind, that gives you quiet, that calms and everything. It's meditation. You know what I'm saying? It's any one of those things. And so, but here's the thing, like I said, you gotta be committed to walk the path. I gotta do it every day. And when I miss a day, I gotta feel like it's a problem, right? And I gotta get back on and say, oh, okay, I gotta do it. And so that's what I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a template tomorrow. I'm gonna give you a template that if you follow it, it's like I'm like giving you a workout system for your brain. And I guarantee if you do this for 3 months, 6 months, a year, you're gonna be a different individual. I promise you. But it's a whole system. It's about 10 steps, right, that we're gonna get into. But that's the process, is that now that I know, oh, if I get into a gym, I can't right away do a pull-up. I might gotta put a band underneath my leg that's gonna help me do the pull-up. I might gotta do some pull downs to work my way to a pull-up. So I might need to use this tool, this communication tool with my significant other and not just have disputes. We don't have disputes no more without this tool. We run every dispute through this tool, and I got to commit myself to it. And if I don't, I fall off the path. I gotta carve out time every day. I might gotta wake up earlier. I might gotta sacrifice HBO Max. I might gotta sacrifice Call of Duty and wake up earlier and get to this brain work before I start my day so that I could show up and not be tripping on people and have some energy to actually fight this capitalistic fight. Because you're going to have to fight this capitalistic fight. Don't get it twisted. Like rest and all of that good stuff. Come on a retreat, brothers. But you're going to have to fight this fight. So that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Jeez.
Facts. Yeah, that's real. So we got a question from my boy Joel.
Well, what's up?
First of all, good seeing y'all. Then he asks, how do you navigate vulnerability with those around us that aren't about it?
How do you navigate vulnerability with those of us?
With those around us that aren't about it.
I would say you got to be careful who you vulnerable with. You might need to isolate you need to isolate vulnerability to the people that you know have space for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to protect your more sensitive parts from the people that's too deep in their own wounding to make space for you. It's probably not super intentional, right? It's and so you got to know, oh, I'm dealing with somebody who is you in a mask right now. You're not really here with me. Okay, I got you. Okay, it's okay. Don't even worry about it. You don't even. You know, you gotta be responsible. You gotta be responsible with your wounding, your own sensitivities to know who to give it to and who not to. Yeah, so I would say go to therapy. Find a good therapist. Right, find a good therapist, and once you get a good therapist, you'll begin to understand you're gonna begin to reach a point where it's like, ooh, I think am I just dumping on my friends because it feels good to just talk on my pain? Because I have this space where I could take it. And as you get healthier and healthier and healthier, you begin to save the super heavy stuff for the person who you paying to listen to you, right? Instead of bringing it to other people who struggling with all this other stuff, right? Not to say you can't talk to your friends or nothing like that, but I'm saying we have to begin to practice emotional responsibility. Check in with our friend. Hey, yo, before I go into this, do you got space for this right now, bro? I'm struggling with this thing. Like, can I bring this up? Like, or because you might be like, I ain't got it today. You gotta find, you gotta go to so and so. I ain't got it. I'm burned out, right? But we just be dumping on each other, dumping. Like, and that causes issues in the relationship. And so we got to be careful with where we bring our stuff.
That's some good stuff, man. That's some good stuff. Man, I got something a statement that someone said, and another question. Melanated woman 45. She was saying this when you was talking about the affirmations, I think, and just the meditations and stuff. She's like, give praise for neuroplasticity, like being able just to, you said you got this stuff constantly replaying or whatnot, and like those affirmations, the taking time for the the meditation, like those things kind of they play a part, but especially the affirmations kind of replay, kind of redo what we've been playing in our minds. But Jamal has a question. He says, great stuff, fellas. How do you walk along the path of healing at varying ages with the responsibilities of life?
Yeah. Again, I think you got to make time. You gotta. I think first it starts with desire. Like I said, desire will attract the spaces that you need to be in that will assist you along your journey. Look, man. You could believe that it's spiritual, that is going, or you could believe that universal. What I don't really care. There is a magnetism attached to desire. It's going to bring you what you're in search for. So that may require you to be isolated for a little while, and then because I can't go to the tavern. I've been watching Game of Thrones, the tavern. I can't go to the bar. I can't go to the club no more because it's going to pull me back into that lifestyle. I got to isolate myself, and eventually that healthier situation is going to come on. I'm gonna see something on social media. I'm gonna try a group. I'm and it's going to pull me into it. And so at different varying ages of life, it really it's the commitment thing, right? That as I begin to grow, if I'm married, I begin using these new tools, it's going to take my significant other time to adjust to this new me. Like, she's still going to be dealing with old Rob. She might got to see me act this out and believe in it for 3 months, 6 months before she can adjust, right? The kids might got to see this new me before they can adjust. And so it's like you have to have endurance no matter what stage of life you at as you work through this, because you may lose your job in the midst of the healing work and you still got to keep it up. You might be sleeping in your office or in your vehicle, and like you still got to give space to your feelings. So cry in your car, cry in the office, cry in the bathroom, cry in the bedroom, cry, like you gotta move through the stages, like intuitively, no matter where you're at, right? So you got to keep your ear to the ground, like your body will let you know when it wants to move into different stages of healing, and you got to respect it. And so here's an example for some of y'all, yo, if you know that you don't have the ability to have a healthy relationship with a woman, I would like to suggest to you for your consideration that maybe you need a break from relationships. Maybe you need a break from relationships. Maybe you need to sit your behind down somewhere.
Mercy, about
Sit
that
your behind down somewhere and go
Yeah.
and handle yourself before you step back out into society with that brokenness and continue it. Maybe you need to go get a couples therapist, and you might need to spend the money, use the insurance, right, to handle that, right? Like you got to utilize the tools, no matter what stage of life you at. And so it's a hard question to ask because it's so broad, but
Yeah.
I hope we got a little closer to that. And if I didn't, Jamal, please help me get a little closer with a more direct question, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I know we're gonna get into some more questions tomorrow. So, if we didn't get to your specific question today, no love lost. We just want to be respectful of time. But
Yeah.
feel free to shoot a question to us, write one down, because we're gonna kick off tomorrow answering some of those questions that we left off with.
Vivacious says she uses a stress ball. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yo, that's a fact. That's one thing that I've been using, man.
Yeah. For sure.
Sir, man,
Yeah,
it's been solid. This has been solid.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're gonna end it off like this. I want to make two. This is the offer stage, right? But I got a really good one for you first. Two really good ones. The first one is free. Like I said, I'm the director of mental health for an organization called Boys in the Wood, but it's for grown men. You gotta be 18. We take men on restorative outdoor retreats, 100% free. We travel to different national parks all around the country, and we put on these retreats for Black men. These streets are 100% free. You're not going to be in no tent. You're going to be in a retreat center. You're going to have a bed, hot water, hot food, right? Shelter. Like, it's comfortable, And I do the mental health portion. I take people through a series of mental health workshops. I have a brother, his name is Jerry. He takes people through like personal and professional development. He's really good. He's the top trainer, the youngest and the top trainer for Simon Sinek, if you know who that is, right? So this brother be talking to the Lakers, Google, Amazon. He big time, you know what I'm saying? He come and he do professional development, right? And then we go on the adventure. We go whatever's available at the retreat center: hiking, kayaking, snowboarding, ice fishing, whatever's there for us to do, we do it at space, y'all. And it's a good time. So check out the social media, Boys in the Wood. If you go onto my socials, you'll find everything, right? Check us out. Come through. It's free. You need this. And when I hit people up, man, they always, oh man, I'm a little busy. I got the kid. Bro, listen, when you come, you're going to be a better person when you come back from this trip. You're going to have more energy when you come back from this retreat. You're going to be more centered. You're going to have a band of brothers around you. Our last retreat, we just got back from Seattle. We was in the Pacific Northwest, North Cascades National Park. 47 brothers was out there in the woods, man. 47 Black men. We had a father and son. We had a father, a son, and a stepfather all together on the retreat. We had about, I think, 3 or 4 sets of brothers on the retreat. Like I'm telling you, brothers, tap in with us. 100% free, though. There's no barrier to entry. We can even help with your plane ticket. Look, how do I walk the healing path? Start there.
Yeah.
I laugh. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
With that being said, the second piece is Let Us Make Man is an academy. It is a 12-week process that will be starting at the very end of September. 12 weeks for the last quarter of the year, October, November, December. I'm going to be taking you through this curriculum that I created to address the issue that I just told you about. Now that do got a cost, but it's underpriced. Let me just tell you, it's underpriced. We're going to meet twice weekly, right? And we're going to be digging into that, I call it the healing path, the builder's path, this cycle that I set up. I'm going to be taking you through. I'm going to introduce you to it tomorrow, and I'm going to give you some tools. Like, I'm going to give it to you so that, like, if you want to do it by yourself, hey, bro, go at it. I'm not going to be no barrier, no gatekeeper to healing, right? And so go for it if you want to try it by yourself. But if you want to do it with a band of brothers, tap in, invest in yourself. One thing, as I become an entrepreneur, man, and I open the Good Condition Counseling, I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on self-development. That's a fact. I probably spent somebody's salary in learning myself because I realized that I reached a point where look, this is why I created it and why I've been investing in myself. I reached a point where I realized I tapped out of all my natural gifting, you know, all of the slide, pull through and sneak through and manipulate and twist and turn and shake my way through all of that stuff. I was about 30 years old and I realized, oh, I'm out. That's it. It's not gonna get me no further. Like who I am naturally as Rob, my natural gift, I'm done. I'm tapped out. I'm as far, I've capped out. I've hit my ceiling. And I realized from here, I was climbing a ladder before. After this, I'm climbing a mountain. And I said, oh, I need more tools. I need more tools. I need more information. I got to heal. I got to break through some things because my own mind now is serving as a glass ceiling for myself. My own brain, my own limiting beliefs are now stopping me from from climbing life. And I've been cursed with ambition, like many of you. Cursed with ambition. I desire more. I want it all. I want the happy family. I want to be healthy physically. I want my finances to be A1. I want to give scholarships back to my HBU. I want to build it named after me. I want to raise up the next generation of Black mental health workers. Like I have so much ambition, but I was weighed down by all of the trauma and wounding I had been through. And so I took a break from relationships after the last one imploded. Keep it real with you. Imploded, right? My fault and her fault. We both landmines, right? Together. Imploded. I said, I'm done. I'm done until I figure this thing out. And through that process, I developed what I just showed you today, what I'm going to show you tomorrow. And I turned it into a 12-week system, a 12-week course that I'm going to walk you through step by step, right? And by the end of it, you are going to be a different man. You're going to be a different man. It is an intense process, but it is also an intentional process and a time intensive. It's going to take time. But when I tell you, you're going to make the strides that you wanted to make by the end of the year. So you ain't going to need no New Year's resolution. By the time January 1st hit, you're going to have a lifestyle built for you that all you need to do is wake up in the morning and run through that lifestyle that we create for you. And you're going to move through everything if you just commit to it.
Yeah.
And we're going to hold you accountable to that commitment. And so if you want, hey, come to Boys in the Woods, man. Free. No harm, no foul. Come through. I love it. But if you want to invest in yourself on a different level and you ready, like, yo, I refuse for next year to find me the same way. If you that person, I refuse for next year to find me the same way. Then you got to come in. I'm not finna lose this marriage. Or if I lost this marriage, I'm not finna lose another one. I'm not finna lose this relationship with my son or my daughter. I am not going to be broke for the rest of my life. I got to figure this thing. If you're that person, come talk to me. Come holler at me. We got you.
Oh, that's good stuff, bro.
We're going to get you right.
That's it.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Look, we better than time. We 15 minutes early. We started out 3 minutes late, but we ended 15 minutes early. I love it.
We respect the time.
Yeah. She said, and the stepfather. That's a fact. I thought it was beautiful.
That's dope. Yeah, that's a dope dynamic.
Daddy and the son. You know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful sight to behold. You know. Yeah. She said definitely. Somebody said, I don't know how Fonsorelli. Definitely want to hear more about helping the youths of tomorrow. Boom, I got you.
Yeah.
The first thing is affirmations. You got to tell the babies good thing about themselves. You got to catch them doing good. And you got to tell them every day, hey, man, I see this about you. Man, you smart. You bright. Man, you got a future. I see that in you. Look, the way that you just did X, Y, and Z, beautiful. Masterful how you did that. Man, you ever consider doing X, Y, and Z? Man, you might be, bro. I'm telling you, I used to work at the Urban League of Broward County for a few years, serving as a therapist. And man, we had a park right outside the building. And look, I'm from Broward County, Florida. Grand Theft Auto was based on this area. Man, these babies is stealing cars and they sliding down 95, getting caught with guns and all of that. Man, if they didn't shoot nobody, God willing, the judge usually send them to my desk, right? And I'm taking walks with these babies. Man, look, man, the way you interacted with so-and-so today, that was dope, man. Nah, I see that in you. I could tell you sharp just by the way that you putting this thing together. Yeah, tell me your story. Hey, man, you want to be a businessman? Oh, yeah, bro. The fact that that's even in you, that means something. I'm pouring into the baby.
Yeah.
I was a young therapist and I didn't know everything that I might have needed to know about mental health and healing and all that. I just would pour into the babies, man. I'll just pour into them. And so like that's gonna be your greatest weapon. If you have the opportunity to pull them into a new environment, then do that. That would be great. But if you can't and they're stuck in the environment, you gotta talk into them. You gotta talk into them and you gotta be there. If you can commit to just being there for the long haul, man. Thank God for the men that my mama found that was willing to be mentors for me for the rest of my life, y'all.
Yeah.
Gotta hear me. Like I don't know where I would be if I didn't firstly have their example. Ooh, talk to me, spirit. Yo. Look, that's the next thing. The last thing is better than any words is an example.
Yeah.
Don't drink and tell them not to drink. It ain't gonna work. They looking at you to mimic. The baby learn how to talk from watching your lips. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do most of what you do, and they're gonna take it to the next level because they're looking at behavior that they can't understand. So they're gonna take it to the next level. And so be an example. You can't be a gangster and try to keep the babies from doing gangster stuff. We want to be like you. A one or two might listen to you. Most gonna crash out with you. So you gotta be the example. You gotta uphold the standard. That's the major part. And look, it ain't my standard. I didn't create it. It's just the standard. It's just a standard. And you can either live up to it, or you can, in your mind, think you can lower the standard to match your lack of discipline and your lack of commitment, and you're going to suffer the consequences in the community with you. We need men that are willing to strive at the standard and set the example. Take the time, pour into the babies. That's what it looked like. That's it.
Yeah. Boy, you up there.
That's that blueprint.
For real, you done gave the keys, man. You ready for a third night?
Like, hey, for the time to a church revival.
Yeah.
I'm about to make an altar call, everything.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Listen, so tomorrow we could pretty much gonna be running through workshop part 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna introduce you to that builder's path. It's only for the builders, only for the brothers that's ready to build. Like if that's not you, it's okay, brother. Take your time. Hopefully you double back to the healing work when you're ready. But not gonna knock you, but like this is for the builders. And so if you need some therapy or something like that, if you're in Florida, holla at me, or I could point you in the right direction. No pressure. If you want to come to the Boys and Woods trip, hop on my social media. It's a link. I got you, right? Tap in with me. I got some resources for you.
All right.
Yeah,
That's it.
Indeed. Let us make man day one.
Day one, y'all.
Hey.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank y'all for tuning in for sure.
Yeah. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.